Folks, have you ever thought about top secret classified documents? Well, there's some in this envelope the guru has obtained, but I can't show them to you because number one, they wouldn't be secret. Number two, you may tell somebody and they come on and take them away from the guru. We're going to put them over here. We done got way up in the wilderness here at Wilderness Calls today and crawled up in the rack shack, and we're gonna talk about some secret stuff. Now y'all be sure to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss none of the updates that we're gonna have on this discussion we're having today. Well, the guru didn't think a whole lot about that until here recently. These papers been popping up everywhere. They found some down in Mar-a-Lago, Florida, South Florida, where President Trump has his big mansion, and they went down there, and of course, old President Trump, he said, "Hey, I decertified them things, I declassified them, I unsecretized them. They just paper now. They ain't really important." But they didn't believe him at all, folks. They toted off boxes of them. That little army of investigators went in there and tore his mansion apart, finding them. They toted several boxes of them off. Well, you know they ain't secret no more. Human nature, them dudes that toted them off, they looked at them as soon as they got away from there. There'll be a book come out later. We'll see what was in them. But then they found a bunch of them up in the president's house and think tank that we got now up in the Northeast. There was some he had from 12 years ago when he was vice president of the think tank. Now, I don't know about y'all, but Guru ain't, he thinks all the time, and I don't have to get up in no tank to think, but I just think, and I'm sure y'all think too. I mean, come on, folks, we all think. I guess you don't do it right unless you're in a tank. Well, they asked Mr. Biden about those papers, and he said, "Well, I don't know." With a big blank look on his face, like he had no idea what was going on. Well, some people say he don't know. They say that he don't know much of anything anymore. And then some people say that he just good at, stretching the truth a little bit, and he really knows, but he ain't gonna let them know he knows. Well, it could be going either way, but the guru ain't gonna make no judgment on that. He either knows or he don't know. But then later on, when they started finding some more everywhere around there, they toted home here lately, and they found some of them in his houses. And I think he got 4 or 5 houses. I mean, he's been in politics for like 150 years, according to him. And I ain't no telling how many papers he's got. But he told them then that they weren't no there. Well, I'm not sure what a there is. It's either there or it's not there. I mean, there is no in between, or that must be some politician talk. I think, that y'all need to stick around because later on in this video, we're going to talk about how a redneck would have handled this if he'd have got his hand caught in the cookie jar like these two guys did. But I think, too, that they ought to just go ahead and search every politician that has been in office for the last 20 years. I'm sure they got papers at their house, too. That's the thing you do. You get up there in office and you took you some papers home with you. Well, the president before them said something that was absolutely true. And for a politician to say that, that's a miracle in itself, because they usually add or subtract something from everything they say. But Mr. Obama, he said that when they was having the big to-do about the companies hauling their product across the highway, that he let them folks know that they didn't buy them highways. Taxpayers bought them highways. And he was right, see, and that was why Guru give a man credit where credit's due. He told the truth. The taxpayer did pay for them highways, way too much, but we paid for them, and they are our highways. But let's be honest, companies paid taxes too, so they had a right to drive on them too. But that brings us to the common sense part of this discussion we're having here with this certified paper thing, or classified paper, or secret paper, or however you want to shake it. Those papers, just like Mr. Obama said, those are our papers. They're not their papers. Why are they putting secrets on our paper? If they want us to put some secrets on some paper, go buy them yourself. Of course, they'd use our credit card and it would still be our paper, so we should be able to see them. But they ain't going to let us see them. They're going to do this big, huge investigation, spend billions and billions of dollars looking into it and finding out what happened. But in the end, it's going to be just like last when they investigated Miss Clinton. She had one of them secret servers up under a basement somewhere, and supposedly, allegedly, all these foreign governments, they done stole all the secrets off of her server. Well, if they did, folks, they didn't tell nobody, 'cause we ain't heard nothing about the secrets they stole, or maybe they did, and they kept that secret too. Who knows? But in the end, they just did, hey, she didn't mean to do it, so we ain't gonna do nothing. And that's what's gonna happen with these two fellers. They gonna do all this investigating and spend billions of our dollars, and in the end, they just gonna say we ain't gonna do nothing. And so that brings me to what a redneck would do if he was caught with his hand in the cookie jar like these two gentlemen were. First thing he'd do is put them things in the safest place in his house. And I know you thinking right now, I can read your mind, you thinking that that'd be a safe. That's where he keeps his guns and his bullets. Safest place in a redneck's house would be in a shoebox under his bed. Because he knows they go look in the safe first. That'd be the first place they go because they'd be just like y'all. They think, well, that's where he's going to have them at. That wouldn't be where it's at. They under the shoebox, in the shoebox under the bed. Because that's the safest place in a redneck's house. Trust me, nobody wants to go under no redneck's bed because ain't nothing but nobody been under there since he put it up. Ain't no telling what's under that bed. And shoot, you might even get your hand caught in a rat trap and snap your fingers off if you went up under that redneck's bed. Now, the redneck may take him out to the family reunion, do a show and tell, but the family ain't going to tell nobody because they all family. But now, there is one exception to going up under the redneck's bed. That exception is, say you were in there with his wife or girlfriend, and he come home early from work, and you had to make a decision, and you had to make it quick because you couldn't get out because no way to get out of the room without him seeing you. And you knew that if you stayed in there and you faced him, you was either going to take a butt whooping or you're going to get shot between the eyes. Now that means you two, or the other decision would be that you go up under the bed because you know even the redneck ain't going to go under his own bed because that's just somewhere he don't go. So you'd probably make that decision. You get up under that bed, and while you in there that day and night, because you wouldn't try to leave till he went back to work, you might find them papers. But if you did, you wouldn't say a word. You'd take that secret to your grave because you know that if you did say something, he'd know you were under his bed, and you still take that butt whooping when he got found out. You just have to do it to save face in the redneck community. The other thing, next thing is that somebody, if they were dumb enough, stupid enough, or just naive enough to go up into a redneck's house snooping around, and if they were to make it past that bulldog Rottweiler cross guard dog, they may go in there. But you know the redneck ain't got no security system because they don't want the police at their house no more than they have to. So they'll get them a big old mean dog, and that's their security system. Say he made it past it and found those papers up under that bed, and he run down to the local police and told them, hey, Leroy got his papers under his bed down there, and they secret. Well, somebody down at the police station would be kin to old Leroy, and the first thing they do is call him and say, hey, Leroy, they coming down there, and they're going to get them secret papers you got under the bed. Well, Leroy would take them papers out and build a big bonfire and throw the papers on top of that bonfire. They'd be gone. They'd come in there with a little search team like they did on Mr. Trump, and they'd tear the house apart. They wouldn't be able to find those papers. And they'd ask Leroy about, Leroy, where are the papers that was under your bed in the shoebox? Leroy would say, what shoebox? That shoebox with all the rags in it? I burned it. But that'd be the end of that investigation. But they could talk to all the family they wanted to, and they would still tell them the same thing. They don't know nothing. Because they ain't gonna tell on Leroy. Cause Leroy don't, part of the family. They don't say nothing. Well, at the end of that investigation wouldn't cost a couple of $100 to do it, and that would be the end of it. Maybe these other two guys don't know about it. Now, with the next video, I'll tell you how the two or three before him, they must have found out because they done held them a bonfire, I'm sure. But anyway, they would that would end this investigation with Leroy, and maybe these other two guys, the two we got now, it's all in the got the hand caught up in the cookie jar. They might not have had a heads up. Somebody might have told them, hey, look, they coming to get them papers you told it off. But and that's just the way it is. And hopefully y'all enjoy it. Hope you go subscribe to the channel. Like I say, I got another one coming. We're going to talk about the three presidents before them and what they've done, what they had to say about all these here certified, classified, top secret papers. Y'all have a wonderful day and be sure to subscribe to my channel.